One of the great things about belonging to a church is the complete lack of conflict between its people. G'day everyone, Brian here. If you've been a part of a church, you'll know how untrue that is. Church has conflict. Any group of people over time will have conflict. And that's good and healthy. It helps us to develop a relationship with each other. It helps us to recognise that not everybody's the same as me, and I can change my way to get on with them, and they can change their way to get on with me. But in a church, we do want unity. We do want true harmony so that we are working together. And when Paul wrote to the Philippians, he addresses that issue. Here, even in Philippi, even in this church that Paul loves so dearly, there's some trouble that needs to be addressed. And he does it. And he names the two people involved. I plead with Euodia and I plead with Syntyche to agree with each other in the Lord. Yes, and I ask you, loyal yokefellow, to help these women who have contended at my side in the cause of the gospel, along with Clement and the rest of my fellow workers, whose names are in the book of life. These aren't just two people who occasionally turn up to church. These are two key people. Two women who have been fellow workers for the gospel, who have contended for the gospel at the side of Paul and who've continued to do that. But there's some conflict between them. And Paul's aware of this and he wants it to be addressed. Now, there's a couple of things to take note of here. Firstly, these two women are both a part of the church. It's a dilemma in many churches that there are faithful people within that congregation who, for whatever reason, have grown to dislike, hate, or even despise each other. It should not be so. We also notice that Paul urges them to agree. Not just to agree, shake hands and move on, but to agree in the Lord. Now, they already do that. They already have an understanding that Jesus is their Lord and Saviour, that their salvation is in Him. They clearly have an understanding of the gospel because they are both contending for the gospel. They are fellow workers for the gospel. How difficult it is when those fellow workers separate. Paul knows something of that because him and his good mate Barnabas had a bit of a dust up and went their separate ways for a time. Perhaps it's with that heartache in mind that he urges these two women to be reconciled so that they don't have to deal with the heartache that he did when he remembered Barnabas. What's the application for you? Is there someone in your church that you have a bit of a problem with? Well, be reconciled. Remember, it's much easier to pull out a sapling than to cut down a large tree. Treat your disagreements like that. Deal with them while they're small. Resolve them while they're young. Contend for the gospel together. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.